the thing that attracts me the most to Discovery Yoga is the fact that it embodies a way of life, and all the different types of programs, classes, one-on-one benefits that come to the community around here are a direct extension of the application of yoga as a way of life to different situations, different people's needs. The teachers who teach here, for the most part, use yoga as a way to enhance the quality of their life, not just during those brief periods when they're on the little rectangle of the yoga mat, but when they're off the yoga mat and they're walking through life, going to the grocery store, interacting with their neighbors, meeting people, going to the post office, working with their children, connecting with teachers, just the stuff that we do as part of our life. The practices of yoga penetrate the quality of the relationships and the intention behind so much of the communications that happen. And so when I have the opportunity to come here and either be in the role of teacher, be in the role of student, or be in the role of colleague with my friends and teachers here, the thing that draws me back again and again is there's such a positive energy, there's such a balanced intelligence, there's a sense of well-being and inspiration that's present in all these different circumstances. So whether I'm in a training capacity, or whether I'm here because I'm going through the neighborhood and I want to stop by and say hi to everybody, or whether I've been away for a while and I want to just catch up and what's been going on, or whether it's after a class and I go out with some of the people who have been in my class and have a little something to eat. The thing that's consistent is I see that what's happening is so much bigger than how flexible somebody is, or how long they can hold their breath, or how deep their meditation is, or any of that kind of stuff, which is all well and good. But the thing that is so penetrating is that the facility to open up to a much more wholesome, balanced, welcoming, open-hearted, open-minded, and yet internally disciplined way of life is happening for everybody. And so for me that's a huge thrill, because I look around at the world and I see that there's so much destruction, misinformation, confusion, conflict, hatred, suffering, and the very things that we're doing here are the counterpoint to that. And so we're doing it one person at a time, one family at a time, and so there's a community here that's informal, but the common ground is this deep appreciation for a way of life that's wholesome. And I know wholesome is kind of like, yeah, wholesome, schmolesome, but on the other hand, there's a context for wholesomeness that means natural. I care what happens to other people. I'm very interested in how the whole community is developing. It's that kind of caring community. So that's really the underlying strategy for me in wanting contact here all the time.
How long have you been with Discovery Yoga?
Since the beginning, I would say, only because Deva and I both started in yoga at the same time. We were friends back in Tampa. Actually, we weren't friends. We both met through the common ground of the yoga experience, which would have been, I don't know, somewhere in the last century, 74, 3, 2, maybe 72. We both connected with the tradition of Kripalu Yoga at the same time. And so through that, we had this mutual interest, and it was just natural for us to be friends. And so we've remained friends ever since.
And Discovery's been around how long now?
Well, I believe that David started Discovery here in St. Augustine maybe about 7 years ago. And I came through St. Augustine searching for the next stage of my life about 5 years ago. And I didn't know St. Augustine was going to be my home. And, of course I came and saw Deva and stayed with Deva and Hugh. And she asked me to teach a few classes. And it was sort of love at first sight, because the surroundings here are just terrific. And then the students who Deva was attracting to her studio, I felt a real kinship with. And the beauty of it was she just gave me wide open rein to do whatever it was I was inspired to do. So there was no restrictions on, you need to do it this way, or here's our style, or don't do this. There was none of that. We both have this deep trust and respect and love for each other. So she invited me to basically share my experience of yoga with people. And it connected with her students because of our common ground in Kripalu Yoga. And from there, it just basically took off.
So with that freedom of development, is there a niche that you feel that you fit since you joined Discovery Yoga?
Yeah, it's a developing niche. Like, I don't do vigorous yoga. I don't do a yoga that has a specific routine or sequence to it. Those aren't things that light me up in my own practice. So the niche that I like to work with is one where I'm working with people to connect back to their self-sourced confidence, their core strength, their intuitive intelligence. I like to use that a whole lot. And I also am very delighted to be able to assist people in developing their own inner core strength. And it's an inner core strength that's not rigid, it's not fixed, it's not tight. Paradoxically, it's an inner core strength that rests on openness, spaciousness, inclusiveness, intuition, and a very organized intelligence about how the body works and how I can learn to live in that experience of an open, spacious, intelligent body, and then use that as a platform for all of my interactions, because we all use our body to communicate, to be creative. All of our life experiences happen through the body. So when I can facilitate that being enhanced, that feels really, really good to me.